All right, welcome everyone. We are live. It is another edition of Deconversion Stories, and today I have the pleasure of chatting with my friend Kevin here, all known as JesusUnfollower, and that's basically his, I guess, your nom de plume for everything you do online. Yeah. You can see his T-shirt right there. I have all the links below. You can help support him on Patreon if you want. You can follow or stalk him if you want on Twitter, Facebook. He has a group on Facebook, which I thought I had already joined, so I made sure I did that today. And also, there's his podcasts, both for Apple and just, I think, whatever the regular podcasts there. On Spotify, I think, is the other one I put on there. So you can follow his podcast there. I have perused them myself, but I have yet to listen to them, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But basically, we're going to get into a little bit about your podcast towards the end of this. Anyways, Kevin, so because I want to talk some about that. So, but anyways, Kevin, I talk to people here about their deconversion stories of the way they left the faith, you know, the ups, the downs, the things that happened during that journey away from those beliefs. So why don't you kind of take us back as far as you can to when you were a believer, like go back to the early years and talk about how you got in there and that journey you took to finding your way out, and which also, and you ended up becoming the atheist activist that you are today.
Sure. Yeah. I was born in Michigan, but my whole family, we moved down to the South to Georgia when I was 5. And Mom wanted us to be in church. I mean, so we started going to Baptist churches when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
My dad came sometimes, but not a lot, but he was still a believer. And my mom wanted us to go to be in church, you know, to get those, I guess, those life values, life lessons, whatever you want to call it. And so we went to church semi-regularly through elementary school and middle school. And I remember the first time I ever had a doubt about anything was in middle school. My friend Justin, I think it was 8th grade, and he mentioned something about Noah's Ark. Because at that point, I had never even considered there not being a God. I mean, that was what I was raised to believe. That's just what I believed. Sure. I didn't really know that there was a such thing as a non-believer. So, but he said, how is it even possible for all the animals to get on the ark and then, you know, to go up to all their separate continents when the earth came back to normal, like when the waters went down. And I was like, you know, that actually kind of makes sense. But that was as far as that questioning ever went for me at that time. And when I was in high school, one of my family members started going to a Pentecostal church. And so my mom was like, yeah, let's go there. Let's try going there. And so we went there.
Just to see what it was like, if it was different, that kind of thing.
Yeah. My brother had started dating this girl, and I guess she talked about that church a lot and how great it was and how much she liked it. And so we started going there, and walking in the doors of that place, I was like, holy shit, this is different than anything I've ever seen in my life. You know, you got people waving flags around, running around the church, and like some people yelling, and just the music was loud and different. And so that was like my really impressionable years of being 15, 16. And I started like believing the same way that the church did. You know, we went to church every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. They even had Friday night services. We'd go to those sometimes. And so I started like kind of absorbing their teachings and stuff. And I wasn't really like a believer or anything yet until there was Heaven's Gates and Hell's Flames. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's this like big play production drama. Well, they had these outside actors, and they actually used some people from the church too, where they would do like, it would be skits. Like teens would be like drinking and driving and getting in an accident, and they would die. And then they would wake up at the gates of heaven and like want to get in, but then be denied. And like these demons would run from off stage and grab them and like pull them to hell. And so,
jeez,
yeah,
that's not frightening for children or anything.
Not at all. You know, that's totally normal. But so when you're that age, and like that scares the hell out of you. So
yeah.
I think I was 16 or 17. I don't remember now. I think probably 17 when they did that play at our church, and I like was like, okay, I don't want to burn to a crisp for eternity. So like it scared me. I went down to the altar. I gave my life to Jesus. I became a Christian then. I started reading my Bible, going to church all the time. I lived for Jesus, brought my Bible to school, the whole nine. And I ended up, I met a girl there. I got married young because that's just kind of how it is in the South in churches. You know, people get married young. You don't want to fornicate. You don't want to lust because, again, there's that fear of hell. Like, sure. I don't want to do something that God doesn't want me to do. So I got married at 22, and marriage ended up not working out. But before the divorce, I used to go for a walk at work. I used to walk around the building, and there was a guy that worked there, and he used to be a Christian. He used to be a preacher, I think Southern Baptist or something. And he stopped me on my walk one day, and he asked me if I believed, and I said, yeah. And he asked me why. And, I just said, yeah, I believe that everything in the Bible is true. And he started saying that when he was wanting to go to college, his church really discouraged him from going. Don't go to college. And it was like,
it's weird how they do that, isn't it?
It is. It's like you might learn something, But,
exactly.
I don't know. Like they think that there's all these liberal professors who are going to try to sway you away from the Word of God, I guess. And
yeah, because that's exactly what their
that's their goal
is to do that. Yeah.
It's not to educate anybody. It's just to drag them to hell.
Yeah, bring them to the dark side.
Exactly.
Side of Satan.
That's what you would think. But despite those warnings from his church, he went anyways, and he said that he took some basic religions classes, and he started learning about all these stories that were similar to the story of Jesus, and then he just started questioning things, and he started thinking about, if he were born elsewhere in the world, he would believe totally differently from the way that he was raised here. And and when we had that conversation, it was like this light just went off in my head, and I'm like, holy shit. If I was born, if my parents had a different religion, or if I was born somewhere else in the world, I would believe completely differently. So why is my religion right and theirs is wrong? And so it was just that little crack. It didn't take me long to deconvert. I didn't call myself an atheist right away, and actually not for a long time, but I stopped believing. And right around that same time, the church that I was in kind of had a church split. And I went with, there was something weird about the youth pastor got fired for who knows what, but I was close to him. And so I went to the church that he started at, but eventually they moved, they opened a separate church somewhere else, and I just didn't go. And so that was kind of a natural fading off for me, that coincided with that conversation with my coworker, that church split and moving away. And then it was I just kind of stopped going to church, and I just stopped believing. And it's kind of a weird epiphany that you have when you stop. You feel like you've been lied to your whole life, and it's kind of the angry atheist phase, I guess.
Yeah. A lot of people go through that, right off the hop. They feel like they've been betrayed. But the thing is, though, that's not necessarily what happened, because you're not being quote unquote betrayed. You're just being,
they think it's true,
indoctrinated. Exactly, by people who think it's true. So they're not technically lying to you.
Right. They're not trying to mislead you. Yeah.
Right.
They're unintentionally misleading you.
So how long did it take you to kind of get past that phase?
It was probably a year, I would say, of still holding on to that fear of hell, because it's so strong. That's something that's so hard to get over and get past. Is just what if I'm wrong? What if they were right? What if I end up
that fucking Pascal's wager shit? Fuck.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Pascal, you bastard.
And then when you start thinking about the absurdity of Pascal's wager, you're like, okay, well, because there's a billion religions out there that could say the same thing, but
right, they all have their own Pascal.
So so then I kind of became indifferent for a long time.
Okay.
It was whatever.
So apatheistic, I just don't
kinda
care.
I don't really care. I don't believe, but it doesn't really matter. Until last year, I got into a relationship my friend set me up with this girl who was Seventh-day Adventist.
Ooh.
And we were really compatible in a lot of ways, except for that. And so eventually that path collided and we ended up breaking up. And I was like, man, fuck religion. It's kind of like, it reignited that.
It does.
Yeah. It reignited that hatred of religion. And so then that was like October. And that's when I started an Instagram account, because I just kind of wanted to connect with people who had gone kind of through the same thing, and also make like funny, stupid religious memes at the same time, And so I started up over there.
Those are fun.
They can be pretty fun. Some of them are stupid, but But
I just posted one the other day that shows Jesus walking across the water, but then it shows the vision from where the fish look, and it looks right up his fucking thing. I'm like, damn, I feel for those fish.
Yep, all the blasphemous memes. So it's funny. Like, I've just started meeting a lot of people over there and made quite a bit of friends. And I started Twitter, and I was like, I've been interested in podcasting for a long time, but I was like, I don't really know what about. And I was like, this is it. And so I wanted to create a podcast for the same reason. It's just to be that voice kind of for people like that I would have liked to have about 10 years ago, because it was about 2010 when I deconverted.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, and you feel so alone. You go through that, and you like, especially being in the Bible Belt, it's like, I don't know that many atheists, and they're not.
I literally have a friend whose name is Bible Belt Atheist.
Oh, I think I've seen him.
If you don't know
before.
who he is, yeah, his name is Zach. And if you find him on YouTube, he actually puts out some pretty good videos, and he does some deathcore stuff too, like metal wise.
Oh, does he?
Musically.
Okay.
Yeah. He even covered one of my tunes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think I've seen his name bouncing around on social media somewhere. Yeah.
I'm sure him and my friend Beelzebub are having a contest of who can get more subscribers on YouTube. So everyone go subscribe to Bible Belt Atheist, and then go subscribe to Beelzebub. And if Bub here says he's going to kick my ass, that's all I know.
So I was like, man, I wanted to start the podcast. I wanted to kind of reach, because I know that there's a lot of people out there who are questioning their faith or doubting things, or maybe they've already gone through it and they just feel alone and like they don't have anybody to connect with or talk to. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was a good opportunity to reach out, to reach some of those people.
So basically that's kind of what I noticed about your podcast, is you're talking to people who are having doubts. Which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
have you talked to anyone that's kind of, you've been able to push a little bit further over the fence, or?
Well, I get a lot of DMs on Instagram. I guess people find me, either they hear my podcast or they find my Instagram that way, and they'll DM me with just like, I get a lot of questions like that. Like, just a lot of it is like biblical questions or indoctrination. Like, how do I know that this is true? Or it'll be people whose parents are Christians and they're not, but they're still living in that household, and they're trying to figure out how to navigate that. So I've actually gotten a few messages from people, and it makes you feel really good. Not that I'm not actively trying to deconvert people, but it's like,
right.
But it's like, I just want people to feel like they're not alone in their thoughts. And
right.
I get a few DMs from people who are like, you really helped me to kind of get over that hump, to kind of embrace who I am and how I feel about this, and be a little more vocal about it. And it kind of makes you feel good.
Yeah, for sure. I've had a few myself from doing this.
Yeah.
And it does. It makes you feel like what you're doing is actually having an impact and making a difference.
Yeah, because they go through life like feeling like the stuff that they're thinking, like if they supposedly have a God that's going to convict you of thought crimes, God forbid you doubt something, he's going to sit there like he's hearing your every thought. But it's like, you're not by yourself.
I hope so. I hope so, because if he's listening to my thoughts, then he knows exactly how I feel about him.
Did you see the guy who said that God told him to hop the fence at the White House and punch Trump in the face? I saw a tweet about
Wouldn't
that
go
yesterday.
Wouldn't that
I
go
don't know.
against all the Christians that are backing him?
Yeah,
That's saying he was sent by God?
maybe he's the one true believer. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. He couldn't even bring up a Bible verse when they asked him to.
I know. You know, I like
Not
the Old
surprising.
Testament. I like the New Testament. It's like, what are you talking about, man? There's a lot of good stuff in there. Cool. Be more vague about it.
Right. Yeah. Well, fuck, everything he does is fairly vague when he's talking about shit.
It really is.
Yep.
Did we ever figure out if we could inject disinfectant into our system to get rid of corona?
People, I really highly recommend you don't do that. If you're going to inject anything into you, wait till they have some form of vaccine. And from what I'm hearing now, today, actually, speaking of the coronavirus, one of our Canadian doctors is saying that people that are asymptomatic tend to not have antibodies, many left after they've dealt with fighting it. So this thing apparently can wipe out your antibody supply, and when it'll mutate, you could get it again. So
Wow.
Be careful, folks.
Wow.
Yeah, this thing's kind of scary, but hopefully, even a vaccine, you're good for a few months. Then you got to go get revaccinated, right? When they have a new one for the new version or whatever. But luckily, this coronavirus does not mutate fast, so that's good.
It's just the whole contagious part of it, like how freaking contagious it is.
Mm-hmm.
People just want it to be over.
It did. Yeah, I know, because everyone wants. I mean, shit. People are doing that anyways now. They're going outside and being outside is actually fine as long as you keep your social distancing. That shit, you should be fine.
Yeah,
it's safer outside than you are indoors. Believe it or not. That's what they're telling us anyway.
Wow, there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah. Well, honestly, yeah, that's true, because you could touch something and there's a virus on it, and so wash your hands, people, all the time. All right, let's get back into, now that we sidetracked into the whole coronavirus.
Yeah, just because of one nut job. Sorry about that.
It's all right. That happens on the show all the time. We sidetrack all the time, but that's okay, because it's kind of what makes it a little bit more all over the place and interesting. So.
Yeah.
All right. So when do you think it was the first time you called yourself an atheist?
That's kind of. I'm trying to think, because I was not comfortable with that label for a long time. I would just say, I don't know.
Not surprising. So you were more agnostic, you would say.
Yeah. And even, I think probably just last year, honestly, is when I really embraced the label. Because I'm like, that makes the most sense for what I should call myself. But even like my parents, they probably had their suspicions for a while, but they didn't know that I'm not a believer anymore. So after my breakup last year, they're sitting there wondering like what happened, because we seemed good together. And then I told them about the religious differences, and when I told them, I said agnostic. I think just because the term atheist can have so many negative connotations, even if they're not true.
Yeah.
Yep. We're automatically baby eaters and Satan worshipers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I never got the Satan worshiping part, because we don't believe in deities of any kind.
Right.
So
if I don't
why
believe
the hell
God,
would we
I
follow
damn sure don't
else?
believe in the devil. I mean, come on.
Right.
So
exactly.
Even when I came out to them, I said agnostic, but I don't know. Probably a couple years that I've really thought that I am an atheist.
So Edward wants to know what you're drinking.
Oh, I'm drinking Sweetwater 420. Pale
Sweetwater
ale.
420. What?
It's a beer, pale ale. Yeah.
That sounds like one I have to try. Get anything with 420 in it. It's all good for me.
Yep.
And it's almost, oh no, it's 422. I feel like we should be smoking a joint while we're doing this.
Oh yeah, it's already in the evening time over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right too, because I'm on Pacific time, so. Okay, what the shit? I don't know how I'm online, because my computer says I'm not online. Magic.
It's all an illusion. Holy shit, we did that at the same time.
Synchronicity or synchronous. Yeah,
You have to get a screenshot of that.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will. Somebody will.
Sync.
Yeah. Let's not go there.
Hey, don't hate, man. They had some bangers in the 90s.
They did too. They did. I mean, I was very good friends with a guy who was a DJ, so a lot of that stuff I had to listen to.
Oh yeah,
not always by choice.
I had a sister, so I had to listen to a bunch of it too.
Oh, she liked the boy bands, did she?
Oh yeah, all of them. Oh,
I'm sure. So what somebody wants to know if I'm still in the interior. I was at my dad's place for the past week and a half, and I did my show from there a few times. But no, I am back on the coast. Somebody who also lives where I live just asked me that. So.
Oh, cool.
All right. Yeah, it was really nice up there, except for the 2 times where we had pissing rain and thunder and lightning, because it gets like that in there sometimes.
It's been raining here for like a solid week, man.
Oh shit, that's too bad.
Not
it's sunny as fucking hot out there.
Yeah, it's humid as hell, man. Like just walking out, instant sweat, instant just heavy air.
Oh yeah. It gets like that here too sometimes. But we live by water, so that's pretty much how that happens.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so why did you decide to start up a podcast?
It's funny because I've been trying to kind of get into podcasting for a while. Actually, I did one last year that was fantasy football related. And so I already had the experience of doing podcasting, but I wasn't passionate about that. And so I was like, man, I think this is just a good avenue, because a lot of people listen to podcasts, especially right now, I think, when everybody's in lockdown or whatever. So there's more time to consume stuff. And I don't know. I have a YouTube channel too, but I just like audio format. And I really just thought it's a good way to reach people, to kind of connect with people and help them. And so like I'll go through, sometimes I'll ask people what they want me to do episodes about. And because I know if one person's asking a question like that, then there are probably several people out there who are kind of wanting to hear content around the same things. And I just kind of do it that way.
Crap, I had another question that I just I hate that. It falls right out of your head. It's like, oh, ask him this next. And then it just goes, oh, I'm going to hide behind this nerd.
Oh, yeah. It happens.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask about, once you told your folks that you were more or less agnostic without using the atheist label, how did they react to that? And what's your relationship with them like now?
Well, my relationship is still as good with my parents. It always has been. My mom is still uber Christian, I would say. So it's like, I think she thinks that I'm going down the wrong path. She doesn't treat me any differently, but it's like, if you talk to them, they have the sad look in their eyes, like my son's going to hell eventually. So it's like, it's kind of heavy, but I don't know. She just seemed kind of more sad for my soul, I guess, than anything else. It's not like they're disappointed in me or anything really. They think that I'm lost or going down the wrong path, or that, the more that they pray, the better chance there is that I'm coming back to the faith and stuff. You know what I mean? Prayer warriors and all that.
Well, yeah, we all know how well that works. Yeah. So did you tell her that you don't believe in a soul?
The conversation wasn't really that long. I'm like, I don't really want to get too in depth with this, but I just told him that I just don't believe. Basically, it was just like, I don't believe. And I mean, Dad, he calls himself a Christian, but he hasn't been to church in a long time, and he still believes in God. He's like, my church is out on the water, like he goes fishing and stuff. And but I mean, they weren't judgmental of me whatsoever when I told them that. And hell, it's not like they can do much. I'm 37 years old, so but I think my mom is just probably sort of sad. It's funny too, because I haven't really. Some of my friends know, and some of my family knows, but there's still a lot of my family that doesn't know. Like, very few people know that I do the podcast. or that I have the account, or that I'm an atheist. Not that many people know. And the more that time goes on, the less I really care if they find out. I'm like, if they find out, they find out. And this morning I had a conversation with a friend, and I'm like, actually, I think I'm probably going to start being a little more vocal and stuff on my personal accounts, because why not? You see the way that people will just shove Jesus stuff down your throat all day long. I'm still Facebook friends with a lot of people that I went to church with, and you just see just scripture nonstop. You scroll and there's another verse. There's another verse. So it's like, if I can see that and it's not like I'm gonna unfriend them or like get mad or get in this big argument and stuff, like, then they should be able to see the same shit from me on the other side and not throw me away as a friend or a person or whatever. So I'm like,
you'd think
it's just this mental hurdle, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And all right, IQ showed up and he's starting to shill all your links in the chat right now. Can you see the chat, by the way? If you go up to the right,
I didn't have the live comments thing clicked. I had the private chat tab clicked like an idiot.
Not an idiot. Nobody realizes that's there until I tell them. So it's a common thing.
I was like, oh wait, there's this little tab over here.
Yeah, because once in a while someone will say something that I want to highlight, so I can do something like this, right? And you should be able to see it on your screen.
Yep.
Right. So I'll do that from time to time when somebody has something up there.
Sweet.
Especially if it's a question or something for you.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing over there. So my eyes have been opened now. I see the truth.
I see the truth. I have been saved by the comment section. Let's not get carried away. People put a lot of shitty comments in after the fact. Right? This one guy loves to just drop religious video links, and I just delete them right away. Bye-bye.
Oh, let me click this and get saved for sure. Yeah, this is definitely going to convert me.
Yeah, YouTube's going to save me. It's also going to make me a flat earther and a Nibiru conspiracy theorist and all that other shit too, right?
Oh my God, at the conspiracies, dude. Oh my God.
I know. It's funny because even though people are atheists, they're not always critical thinkers too. Because I do know some atheists that believe in ancient aliens or stuff like that. I mean, and I did for a long time too. But
we have one common denominator. That's it. We don't believe in God. So I mean, there's all types of atheists. We come in many forms. Alexander
now my friend Dave is wondering what I'm drinking. This time, it's not Alexander Keith's. It's the Caribou Blonde Ale, which I kind of like for a cheap beer. So yeah, it's not made with real caribou. Don't worry, people.
It's like a protein beer.
Yeah, made from fresh caribou meat and ice cold spring water from here in BC. Dry tequila? No, I hate tequila. Tequila makes me become an asshole. Literally, I used to have a hat that says it's an asshole. Just add tequila. So
it usually has one of two effects on people. But going back,
I know they get really, really angry or really horny.
That's it. Those are the two.
Yeah, sorry to go carry on what you're going to say.
No, I was just going to say, going back to the whole religious memes and stuff, that like if you get on social media and all your Christian friends are posting all this stuff, you would think they wouldn't have that double standard of like getting uber offended when they see an atheist meme or something come across. But I guess it's like they feel personally insulted because you're coming after them and their God and like their whole livelihood. And for many of them, it's like things that they never questioned in their life. So it's like, I don't know if it's like they don't want to entertain any of those kind of thoughts, or if it's just like, don't talk about my God that way kind of thing. Cause we all know it's not a religion, it's a relationship and all that jazz. But it's funny because I keep having that fear, like, and I really shouldn't give a shit, but it's like, if I post stuff, are people gonna stop being my friend or in real life or on social media or whatever, are they going to have different opinions of me? But like I said, I don't really care as much as time goes on. I'm like, I really need religion. Like walking on eggshells around religion hasn't gotten me jack shit so far in my life. So I might as well just embrace who I am. And if they don't like it, fine, kind of thing.
Well, what are they going to do? I mean, one of the things, like you were saying earlier about posting atheist type memes or quotes or whatever on, say, Facebook or Twitter or whatnot, and you have religious followers, it's weird the way they take it personally, because it's not meant to be. It's right. I always say, you don't attack the people, okay? You attack ideas, because ideas don't necessarily deserve respect. Like nobody, I'm sure you, me, and everyone probably in the chat does not respect the ideas of, like, say, Nazis or ISIS, right? So beliefs and even religions are merely ideas when it comes down to it, and they don't necessarily deserve respect, folks. So, but people do, until they give you a reason not to respect them. Right.
And I guess people have trouble separating that if they feel like somebody's coming after their God or their religion or their beliefs. It's like, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking these claims that you have that don't have any kind of evidence to support them. And like
nothing in the materialistic world anyways.
Right. And they judge other people. They try to tell other people how to live by going by their book and stuff. And so it's like, they definitely deserve to have a little pushback on that. But they don't like it for sure.
No, they don't. Especially if they're pushing against allowing all humans to have the same rights, which they don't agree with. They don't think LGBTQ community type people should have rights.
Isn't that crazy? Like I don't agree with that lifestyle thing. It's like, well, if I don't agree with yours, like, it's infringement on basic human rights.
Yep. And it's maddening and disgusting in my mind.
And it should have set us back years and years of progress, I feel like, too, because laws are made based on religion. And hell, you really atheists, good luck getting elected if you're an outspoken atheist, too. Just shit just doesn't happen.
I feel that in time that will change.
I do, too. I want to see what shit looks like in about 100 years. That's what I've said. Like, I wonder about 100 years.
If we're still here.
That if Trump hasn't set the world on fire, or whatever.
Yeah, so. I mean, 100 years from now, I kind of shudder to think of what our global climate is going to be like.
That's
we're not on a good path right now.
Yeah, that's the scary part. You think of, like, the progress of human rights and stuff should have come a long way by then, but are we going to even have an Earth left? Nervous laughter.
That's the question. Yeah, nervous laughter, exactly. I mean, I probably won't be alive to see that, but I worry for my nieces and nephews and stuff like that, right? Because I don't have my own kids that I know of anyways, but you know, I do live vicariously through all of my sisters, and they've got tons of kids. And now some of their kids are having kids. So I've got great nieces and nephews too, right? And those are the ones that I'm concerned for.
For sure. Yeah, I don't have any either. I have nieces and nephews, no kids of my own. It's funny too, like,
that's great.
Seeing people that I
back to them.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Spoil them and give them back.
Yeah. And then I always get them the noisy toys, and then my sisters always tell me, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
You get the death threat text messages.
Yes, I do.
You had to buy this fucking
poisoning
thing.
Your coffee. Yeah. Like the first one I bought was when my first niece was just still maybe 2 or 3 years old. I found this Tigger because I had one growing up as a kid, and I lost it somewhere. But eventually, my dad went to Florida and got me another one. It's sitting over there. I was like 30 something at the time. I'm like, all right, Dad, great. You brought me a teddy bear. Actually, it was sentimental and kind of touching, so I still have it. And actually, the night he passed away, I kind of cuddled it in my arms and cried a little bit because, it's not fun losing a parent. You know, I'm a little luckier than most. I have like 4 of them because I have my biological folks and my adopted folks.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, one each left. anyway, yeah. So I get to live vicariously through them. So I've got all kinds of noisy toys that I got them, and I got her the ticker, but it bounces. You push a button, it goes, "I'm gonna bounce," and then it goes doing, 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 doing. And my sister said it drove her mad for a month until she finally got tired of playing with it.
I thought you were gonna say she like threw it away or said that he had to go live somewhere else or something.
My niece, who's now 25, I think, still has it and takes it with her everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. Which is, well, she doesn't take it with her like when she goes to the club or something like that, but she still has it. She still has it in her room. Yeah. She said it was one of her all-time favorite gifts, and that made me smile. So, yeah. Cool. And she says, "Oh, yeah, the reason I liked it so much is because it did annoy Mom." I'm like, all right. You're like, well, you're like, yeah, we're like off the same tree here. So,
mission accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I forgot to mention to you? I always do the interview, of course, which usually runs about an hour, give or take. And I also do an after party. Are you cool with that? To jump in for a little bit longer?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I'm down.
And I already see one of my regulars in the chat there.
I'm
DTS. His name is Irish Swede. Mr. Irish Swede, the man who survived open heart surgery. And if you put the microphone to his chest, you can hear him going, the new lever thingy flipping around and stuff.
Was that an actual train or some sort of sound effect you threw in there?
No, I don't have that kind of technology. Well, I do, but I would.
I thought you might.
I live beside there's it's the river crossing part of the train. So they have the bridge that turns and then the train can go across. That's where I live. And that's why they honk, to let the guy know to put the train bridge in order so they can cross.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know if you had like a little really soundboard. If you're like DJing on the side over there, like throwing in sound effects and stuff.
DJ. No. I have friends that do that. I don't know. I can't do that shit myself. But yeah, it's great to have that train horn blasting at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
I'm used to it now. First couple of weeks here was pretty hard to get used to that, but I'm used to it now, so I sleep right through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, I love this place. It's got like 12 fucking foot ceilings, so I don't ever have to worry about hitting my head on nothing.
That's
because I'm 6 foot. In my boots, I'm 6'5", but literally about 6'4".
Damn.
Yeah. So I bumped my head on quite a few things here and there.
I just moved into this tiny ass cardboard box size apartment. I can like stretch my hands out and touch both walls pretty much. But hey, it's just me and my little dog, so don't really need that much space.
Awesome. No. I mean, if it's just you and a pet, you're gold.
Downsizing.
I don't have any pets. I've had cats and dogs and tarantulas and snakes and birds and you name it.
The whole nine. It's tough when you lose them, man. That's the hard part, because when you get one, you pretty much know you're going to outlive it, unless it's a fucking tortoise or a parrot or something. Then you might not. But
like a macaw, they can live to be like 90 something years old or some shit.
Yeah.
I had a cockatiel, which is a smaller version of they're the little gray ones with the hair that goes up like a cockatoo. And actually, my dad found him. My adopted dad found him in an underground parking lot in a black plastic bag.
Oh shit.
And it was almost somebody had thrown him in there into the sun as well. So this thing was, and my dad nursed him back to health and had him for a bit. And I'm like, are you sure you want, you're not a bird person, Dad. Maybe I should take him. He goes, oh yeah, you can get him the hell out of here. He's annoys the shit out of me, but I had to save his life because I'm a softie. Oh, man. You're a softie, are you? Yeah, sure. Where was
People
your
softie
when you're kicking my ass when I was a kid? Because I came home late.
Yeah, you're like, our memories don't line up here. If you're a softie.
Yeah, what's this softie shit? Yeah, that's funny. Well, he was, that's the way it was then. Nobody even thought twice about doing that. If your kid misbehaves, you give him a whack beside, hey, smarten up. And you're like, oh shit, I better not do that. I don't want to get hit again, right?
And the next time you just get a look and that's it.
Yeah, but even though, it didn't really affect me, right? I don't go around hitting people when they misbehave, but some people can have traumatic issues with that, and by rights, I literally should, because there was one time that my sister and my mom, who were watching my dad and I, he cornered me in a closet and he was smacking the crap out of me, and my sister was afraid that he was going to kill me. So there's at least one incident where
Wow.
but I never held that against him because, I mean, I did at first when I was young, but speaking to my mom years later, she said that there was a lot of stuff, not that this is an excuse for him to do what he did, but a lot of family stuff that I think he was taking out on me. I happened to be a convenient scapegoat.
Yeah.
So luckily we were able to talk about it before he passed away, and everything was cool with that. So, and he's apologized up, down, left, and right about it too. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it was a hard talk to have, but I took him for dinner and we talked about it. So, because he said it had been bugging him for years, and I said it had been bugging me for years, and we got to the nitty gritty of it. Big hug at the end, and yeah, I think
It's hard.
A lot
to
of
have those conversations sometimes.
It is. I think a lot of the firstborn males in the family have that combat with the dad at some point, and it comes to a head at some point, and like the power position shifts. And there was a time for me when I was having a chat with my sister, and we kind of got a little heated over something really silly. And he came out and says, "All right, what are you doing?" And I just grabbed him by the shirt and held him up on the wall like this. And I said, "No more, old man." And he's like, "Holy fucking shit." And I think that was the point where the power shifted, right? Because I was now literally 3.5 inches taller than him, and way more built than he was. I used to be so.
It's like once you get to that point where you can beat your dad in basketball, but this is like taking it up another level where you can actually just beat your dad, leave out the left.
I lifted him up off the ground, and he was like, "Holy fuck!"
Like Darth Vader.
Yeah. Well, so what about like friends and stuff when you were still a believer? I'm sure. Have any of them sort of given up on you, like, or do you still talk to pretty much everyone that you were?
I still like most of the people that I went to church with. I don't really talk to that much anymore because they all still believe the exact same way that they used to, and it's like the Pentecostals can be very, I don't know, like everybody just takes the Bible literally. There's nothing metaphorical. It's all they're Bible fundamentalists, and like the end time. They think the end times are here, and everything's a sign of the Australia fires means that the world is almost over, and like all that stuff. So I can't like associate with that anymore. But a lot of my best friends, a couple of my best friends, when I was in church, I was in the church youth band. I played bass in the youth band, and a couple of the guys in the band with me were my best friends. And one of them, well, they're both still really good friends of mine, but one of them is an atheist now too. And so like we're still really tight. And like my best friend from high school. Did you persuade him, or? No, I think he just saw through the bullshit too eventually, because we probably had some conversations because he's younger than I am. So we had some conversations through the years. Like he would come over to my house and stuff, and we'd have like a party and just be drinking and talking and shooting the shit and stuff. And I don't know if that ever swayed him, but like we would just kind of go down this rabbit hole and just dissect some stuff. And he's like, "Man, I don't know, I just don't believe this shit." And we talk about it still sometimes now from time to time. He's one of the few people who actually know that my podcast exists.
Oh yeah? Have you ever had him on?
No, I haven't had any guests yet, but I want to start doing that. It's all been solo shows so far. Part of the reason was because I sold my house and I moved, and I was like, I don't really want to try to line up guests and stuff while this is going on. So I've just been doing solo shows, but I'll probably do some guests and stuff pretty soon. And I actually asked him the other day if he would want to be on, and he said that.
And what'd you say?
He said yeah, we should do it sometime. So
right on, that's cool. So it's good when you can have the conversations with people and talk about how you both found your way out and stuff like that. If you ever, I mean, I can come on too at some point if you'd like and talk about some conversations I've had with people too, right? So
for sure.
I'm always up for that.
Like my brother is one of the people who doesn't know, and he's still definitely a Christian. And we just, all of our conversations have always been pretty surface level stuff, like sports, stuff like that. And so it's kind of still the same way. He probably suspects that I'm not, I don't know if he thinks that I'm not a Christian anymore, but he probably knows that I'm not like a real strong in my faith. But so I don't know how much of a shock it would be to him. he would probably be pretty surprised that I have an atheist podcast, but he might not be surprised that I'm not a believer. So there are still some lingering family members out there, and some of my friends too, who have no idea about this part of me, but it's big. It's a pretty big part of me. So I want to be a little more vocal about it.
Well, you say you haven't really been religious for about 10 years or so, maybe a little more, because you're questioning phase.
Yep.
I'm surprised that they haven't realized that yet. Or have they, and just figure you still believe?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't really know. They know they probably don't know. They know I don't go to church. So they probably have their. I'm guessing that most people that I used to go to church with probably have their suspicions that they probably think I'm backslidden or something. You know, that whole term. But I don't know if they know how I actually don't believe now. Probably not. Probably not. They probably just assume that I still do, and maybe they just don't know which church I go to or something. Because it's never like, do you go to church? It's which one around here, you know? Right?
Yeah. So yeah, I've heard that a lot, especially people that live in the Bible Belt. One of the first things the neighbors go, "Oh, hi, we're your new neighbors. What church do you go to?" The first thing they ask.
Yeah. Here's a cat. Here's a casserole.
Church down the street. Yeah. Here's the casserole. Yeah.
Here's a casserole and a Bible tract.
Or one of those fucking weird Jello molds with the fruit and vegetables in them, which I'll never end. Don't put shit in Jello, people. What's wrong with you? Anyway, that's abuse of Jello. I'm not a big Jello fan anyways, but I like Jello shooters.
I don't mind it. Yeah, exactly. That's the right kind of Jello right there.
Exactly, alcoholic Jello.
Alcohol makes everything better.
So, I want to talk a little bit about the podcast before we jump into the after party. So, the main focus of your channel is?
The main focus of my channel is helping people who have been basically through the same thing that I was a decade ago. I want to be able to help people who are either in the process, like if they're questioning their beliefs, if they think that they're crazy for not believing in God now, if they have family who still believe, that's sort of the people I'm targeting. Like, there's a community out here, especially now with all the social media stuff. Like, they don't have to feel so alone. Yeah.
Right.
So that's mainly it. I mean, of course it's for atheists too, but it's more for like either recent deconverted Christians or those who are in the process.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend, even if you are already an atheist, because you'll be able to identify with a lot of these processes that these people are going through. And when you watch some of these, and you might talk to someone at some point or talk about them, then they can go and say to them, "Hey, I'm here too. If you ever need a shoulder to cry on, or it's just someone to talk to, we're here. There's lots of us here, and we have a fairly decent community." I'm not going to say everyone gets along, because I've lived through quite a bit of controversy over the past while in the atheist community.
Yeah. And I'm not
shit happens.
I'm not putting myself out there as this like authority or expert or anything. It's just like a friend, like, I'm not trying to be like, "Hey, I know everything, and this is, the ABCD." It's just like, "Hey man, I'm here. If you need to talk, if you're having questions about shit, not that I'm going to have every answer, but we can, talk about it."
Exactly. And I think for the first time, two things I'm working on right now. For the first time on my show, I'll be talking to someone that's still going through the process of the deconversion. And I'm going to be talking to someone who used to be a guru in like crystal healing, astrology, all that. She was one of those, the mediums and psychic type. She'd go around and guru and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She lives here in my city as well. At the time I first asked her, which was a couple of years back, there was no way she could have. Her time schedule was all over the place. So now that we have some downtime, we'll say, because of the whole COVID-19 thing, I'll be able to get her on, I think, at some point. So
is she still doing that? Is she still into that, or is she like? Cool.
very much
That would
against
be
it now
interesting to
because
hear.
she sees the harm. Yeah, exactly. She sees the harm that it can do, right? So,
Yeah,
and
it's
that
great
stuff
to hear
can
from
do.
people of so many different backgrounds and experiences,
Yeah.
and like what people have been through professionally and personally. Just I
Oh, yeah.
love to hear the different stories.
Absolutely. And I've spoken to people of all stripes on my show. Even Meta, who I didn't realize used to be a Jane. Jane is.
I didn't realize that until I saw either it was one of his YouTube videos or he was doing an interview with somebody, I think, and that came up, and I was like, oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, well, it came up with me because I always talk to people about what they used to believe, and he said, "Yeah, my family we were Jains," which I think is like some weird offshoot of Hinduism of some sort.
I think I had to look it up too. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure, but
I remember hearing about it years ago and not really putting much thought into it. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. But, Hammett, he's a really cool guy, really down to earth, friendly guy.
I'm gonna have to go through your backlog of stuff because I didn't really discover you until I think I've probably seen you pop up a time or two, but I saw you on Talk Heathen, and that was the first time I really like saw you talking and stuff. So I need to go check out some more of your stuff.
I didn't look like too much of an ass.
I haven't been like
I'm really good at that.
I never in my life watched the Atheist Experience until October of last year. Like I didn't know it existed. Really? I didn't know it was a thing. Like, so when I say that I really didn't give a shit about religion or atheism or anything for a long time, I really didn't until that recent like reignition, and like then I started binging ACA stuff, and then I just really got passionate about it, and then I created this account and the podcast and all that stuff.
Very cool. Well, I wish you a lot of success with that podcast.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I can help you get on other shows too, so you can help promote it even more. Like my very good friend Chris Mallard runs one called The Daily Atheist, but you got to be prepared to get up a little earlier because he does it really early in the fucking morning, which I don't. He's a morning person. I don't get it.
Oh,
but he's got a great show. Yeah, and also the Atheist Roundtable. They'd probably love to have you on there as well.
I've seen some of those guys on TikTok. Yeah. They're heavy on the TikTok. That's where I first found those guys. And we've interacted on there a little bit. Cool.
Yeah, and I've been lucky to be on both the Talk Heathen and Truth Wanted twice, and my goal is eventually to get to be on Atheist Experience. But I don't know. Matt hates me, I think. So he doesn't. I'm kidding. I've been to his house.
Probably most people probably think Matt hates him, but I doubt it's ever true.
No, he doesn't. He's not that guy. He's chill. He's really chill.
Yeah, he seems pretty.
He's not that angry guy you see on the show all the time. When we're at home, he'll pick up his little ukulele and play something. And then Drew, who's also known as Genetically Modified Skeptic, will pick up his guitar, and then we'll start singing one of Drew's songs, and I'll get on the microphone and singing. It was great hanging out.
I love Drew's stuff too. I discovered him.
Oh, he's great.
A few months ago too. He's got some really cool stuff.
The first of his videos that I saw was when he went to. I sort of just popped up a suggestion, and I said, "I go to what are those fucking weird heat tubes on you and pull out all your energy, or a chi, I don't know, whatever the hell they were." And he just went in there, and every time they said something wooey wooey, he's like looks at the camera, like that whole fourth wall thing is just like kind of thing, and he goes in there and he gets his stuff done on him, and was just too funny.
That's one of the ones I probably haven't seen. I don't think I've seen that one. I know he likes to debunk like MLM and just expose a lot of those scams and shit like that. But
yeah. Him and Thomas do that quite a bit. Yes, Dave, I did know that Matt was here in Vancouver a couple of years back. I had tickets, and I was deathly ill with a lung infection. So I gave my tickets to a friend of mine, Jim, and he took his wife to see him. That's the one he was here with, James Randi, which I really wanted to go to because I'm a big fan of James Randi as well. And I mean, there's lots of shows, dude, that I can get you hooked up with. The Friendly Neighborhood Atheist, the Empathetic Atheist. They all interview people like us. So
cool.
I'll put the word out there, and some of you other guys can help me do that. Wait, good luck tomorrow, Chris Mallard. What is he in here? I didn't see him. Anyway. He does pop in from time to time. But let's get into an after party, man. We'll cut this one a little bit shy.
All right, man. Sounds good.
And we'll talk more about all this stuff in the after party, and I'll have a few friends jump in with us. And I've got, I've got some beer left in here, so we're good to go.
Hell yeah!
I've even got one more in the fridge, and I got like 5 or 6 more down at my friend Mikey's place. But I'll go there afterwards and play some more PS4 golf tonight. Oh, fuck! I played a buddy of mine last night.
What golf do you play on PS4?
The one that because as you know, EA Sports lost the contract, so we don't have the McIlroy or Tiger Woods golf anymore. So it was the 2019 Championship Golf.
Okay,
it's the one they're playing
down there right now. I've been looking for a golf game. I like to play. You know what golf? You can
download it. Right,
I still get on fucking Grand Theft Auto 5 from the game that came out 83 years ago, and I get on there and play on their little golf courses from time to time. that's the only fun. Oh yeah, it's fun. And then I go shoot people with rocket launchers, so it's all in good fun.
Well, my buddy has a whatever the fuck one is, the GT whatever, and he always likes to fly. He goes to the airport, steals a jet, flies it into the military base, and they always blow him out of the sky all the time.
Yeah, you get those instant 3-star, 4-star wanted levels when you fly over the military bases on there.
Oh yeah. And they shoot you right out of the sky, no questions asked whatsoever. Neil has everything within arm's reach. Yes, this is true. This is true.
I basically do too, but that's just because my apartment's so small. I can reach the fridge from here pretty much.
I need a refill. Yeah.
I haven't taught my dog how to go get me a beer yet, though. I need to work on that one.
Yeah, because there was a beer commercial here in Canada that they used to have for Kokanee, and the little dog's name was Brew, obviously. They said, Brew, get me a beer. He'd run to the fridge and pull out a beer and bring it over to him.
That's awesome.
It was great.
Mine would never do it. Mine can't even play fetch correctly. I'll throw the ball, he'll go get it and like set it down 10 feet away from me and look at me like I can reach it from there. So it would never work with him, I think.
I thought you were going to say bring it over to the neighbor's place.
Oh.
Hey, where are you going?
Be more likely than him bringing it back to me.
All right. Well, Kevin, man, thanks so much for joining me today. It was great getting to know you a little bit better and chatting with you.
Awesome.
And like I said, a volunteer for your show if you ever need a guest to come on there. Absolutely. We can talk about the things that we've talked about. Right? So definitely be a great idea. And everyone, we're going to jump into an after party. If you're interested in coming.
Uh-oh, you froze.
Going for an hour and a bit. That was weird.
Because you froze. I don't know how.
Me and you went doing the little circly thing, and I'm like, oh, what the hell happened there? But that happens here from time to time. It's kind of dumb.
Technology.
But, so I don't know. But it happens from time to time. But we're still here. We're still going, and we're going to do the after party. So if you're interested, please let me know via Twitter or Facebook if you don't have me on Facebook, and I will send you a link, and you can join us and have some fun. All right. So anyways, guys, with the whole COVID thing going on, please, be well and be safe, and above all, be kind. And until next time, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.